were saying you wanted to tattoo more of them because there weren't any in your portfolio, which is so crazy to me because now pretty much all you do is portraits.
Even with the fear that you had, you found a balance to live your life anyway. And I just want to point out that's also really inspiring to see that, you know, even if you had that fear, you're still not stopping yourself from doing the things you want.
Within those years, I like went from not being able to draw like anything to like just drawing portraits like left and right.
You're listening to the Eden Body Art Studios podcast, or the Eden BAS pod for short. My name is Colton James, and I'm one of the owners of the studio. I host this podcast with my wife and co-owner, Deanna James. The artists and clients we get to work with every day make Eden unlike any other tattoo studio on the planet. Some of them we've known for years, and some of them we just met, but we want to introduce them to you, the listener. The idea is for us and for you to get to know them a little better. Take a listen. You're going to love it. All right, so today's guest, actually the first guest we've ever had on the podcast, one of our absolute favorite people all the way from Providence, Rhode Island, is Jess Reef. So Jess, this is your third trip to Texas?
Yeah, this is my third time here. It's beautiful as always. The first two times were kind of rainy, so it's nice being here with the sun, actually, being out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You were here or not? Sorry.
People are a lot nicer here from what I hear up north.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference, huh?
Yeah, you hold the door for somebody and they're like, whoa, like, why are you holding the door for me back home? It's like, they flip you off.
I'm just being nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you're nice here? What?
Yeah.
Weird.
When was the last time you were here? October?
October, yeah.
So fill us in on what's been going on since then. Bought a house?
I bought a house. I did. I moved to Rhode Island. I used to be in Mass. You can say Mass. Yeah.
I'm cool enough to say Mass.
You're cool enough to say
Mass.
Mass. You can. It's not like you're saying Cali or anything like that.
Okay,
you know,
I didn't know if it was like I have to be from there to say it.
Anyone can say Mass. We call each other massholes back home.
Massholes.
Well,
I don't know. I'm still a masshole.
Is that your word, or am I allowed to call?
You're
people
allowed to
massholes?
call us that because it's true.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
true. I mean, we refer to ourselves as massholes. So
Gotcha.
even though I live in Rhode Island, but they still call me massholes because I drive like a masshole. So
we don't have nicknames here. We just say y'all.
y'all. Yeah, I go
guess
back
we're
home and I'm
boring.
like saying y'all, and they're all like, "What are you talking about?
What the
Like,
fuck?
Yeah, they'll just
Yeah.
say like wicked cool, like, you know.
Yeah, when I was a
Wicked
kid,
pissa.
actually, when I was in high school, I started saying howdy.
Oh my God, I love that.
But like as a bit, like I started saying it as a joke.
Yeah.
And then I said it so much that I just accidentally kept saying it. And so I still say it, and it's not as weird in Texas, but when I go to another state, I catch myself saying it. I'm like,
Howdy.
you fucking idiot. It sounds so stupid.
You're like, this guy's so from like Texas, like.
Well, how's the homeowner life?
It's very different. I'm still kind of catching up with everything. Like, I'll be like working and my mom will text me and she'll be like, "Did you call this? Did you like change your address for this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, like I can't think about this right now. I'm so overwhelmed." Like, there's still so much I have to do. Like, I'm still not completely unpacked either. Like, there's still a few boxes in my garage right now that I have to do.
What a transition. Leaving
Oh,
the
yeah.
nest. You know, I feel like moms will always be,
Oh
though,
yeah, and
moms.
they live 5 minutes away too, so
Oh,
it's
my
nice
goodness.
having them there.
Yeah.
They're always there to help me if I need help with anything. So
How
I'm
long have
super
you
lucky.
been moved in?
I moved in February, beginning of February, so like a month and a half now.
Gotcha. That's pretty reasonable to still have boxes. I feel like especially too when you have a garage, you know, it's just kind of
Exactly.
out of sight,
Just
out of
leave it.
mind. It's
Yep.
it's like, the
And the
boxes
basement
aren't
too. I threw
bothering anything.
everything in the
Oh
basement.
yeah, yeah. We don't have basements here.
No.
Why? Is
No,
that like
not
a
really.
thing?
I don't know. Maybe something about the weather or something like that. I don't know. I would like to have a basement. That sounds cool.
It's
Put stuff down there.
I just like a large space. I can.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger space to walk naked around.
And my basement is unfinished, so we just
That's
have a
good for
bunch of
me, too.
skateboards down there.
Nice.
We our basement is unfinished, so we have a bunch of skateboards. So we just all all my friends will go down there and we'll just skate around the basement.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's actually really
sick.
fun.
Dude, you guys need to make like YouTube videos.
I know. I want to put like a
Shitty
ramp in there
bootleg.
and like
Yeah.
a tunnel and
Yeah.
make it like hilly and super fun. The cats love it too because it's super cold down there and they love it down there. Like at first there was a door on the basement obviously, and they were trying to like scratch at the door to get in and out of the basement, and we would always have to leave it open. So my sister put a little cat door in there. And they go right down there all the time. The litter box is down there, so you don't have to worry about it. It's so much better.
Is it creepy down there?
If it's dark, yeah, but we usually keep a light on so the cats can see where they're going.
Do you ever run up the stairs really fast when you're leaving?
No, I'm not really scared of it down there. There's no closets or anything. It's just a big open space. So
I'm not into ghosts, but I remember when my grandparents had a basement and I lived there. Anytime I walked up the stairs, I would run up it. I would freak out, feel like something was behind me chasing me always.
I'll do that. I used to do that at my old house when I would go to bed at night and run up the stairs.
I still check under the bed sometimes.
Oh, I do too. I check under the beds. I checked under the bed last night at the Airbnb, even though the bed is on the ground. I was checking it. I was I don't know this place. I'm here by myself. There could be anything under there.
Do you have a lot more space at the new house?
Oh yeah, so much more space. It's way better than being in an apartment.
What do you do with it? Storage or
walk around naked everywhere?
Yeah, both. Actually, no, I don't walk around naked because I have neighbors and I have a sliding glass door to go to the backyard where there's houses. So yeah.
Nice.
I try not to do that, but I did put blinds in. So there's that now.
Yeah.
Free range.
I'm very sketched out by people. So if I think anyone's even looking into my house, I'm no. And you can see right in my house, through the street. So I'm just I don't walk around naked. I always keep the blinds shut, in my room. I don't like it when people are looking at me. So.
Is it like an old house?
No, it's new construction, but it's
no way.
Yeah,
really?
I'm terrified of people.
I didn't know they have new houses in Mass.
Yeah, well, Rhode Island, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, new construction.
I just wanted to throw the Mass in there.
Mass, yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked cool.
Well, that's awesome. And you were telling me you live with your sister?
Yeah, my sister lives with me right now. She's cool.
Did she live with you when you were in an apartment too?
Yeah, she did. She helps me with the cats, and yeah, she's my best friend. So
awesome. So you guys get along good?
Oh yeah. It's funny, when we were kids, we used to hate each other. Well, not hate each other, but not me so much. The two of them fought a lot as kids, and then we all grew up and just became best friends. So
yeah. And how old's your other sister? Because you're the oldest, right?
Yeah. So Melissa's 20. She's not even 21 yet, and she looks like she's the oldest one of all of us. It's kind of funny. She used to work at Pleasure and Pain, and she worked at the front desk, and everyone would be like, "Oh, that's your sister. Is she older than you?" And I'm like, "No, she's 20. She's not even 21. She doesn't even get carded at the bar or anything. It's crazy."
Wow.
And then Allison, she's 22.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, how do you like Rhode Island as opposed to Mass?
Oh, it's so much better. I never wanted to move to Rhode Island. I don't know why. I never wanted to leave the state. Well, not never, but there was something about Rhode Island that I just didn't really love, the idea of. I always thought people were just I just was comfortable with Mass, and I always knew how the people were, and all my friends were in Mass, and then I slowly started transitioning to Rhode Island, and all my friends are down there, and all the people are so nice, and they're old, so it's cute. They drive they're cute little old people, and I'm just swerving in and out between them,
driving like a masshole.
Driving like a masshole. Yep. But yeah, it's so much better down there, and it's beautiful. I'm near the beach. It's cheaper down there.
Can't beat that.
The people are nicer. There's more options for food. I live right off of a main road, so
nice.
There's way more options for food and things to do. So.
Yeah, it's crazy how different it is in New England versus Texas. Mm-hmm. It's a weird concept that there wouldn't be food options.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, everything here is more spread out, but I feel we're spread apart by fields and land.
Right.
But I feel in New England, it's just constant houses and shit stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing really to do in Mass, unless you're in Boston, but I don't like Boston. I try not to go.
Oh, why?
There. It's too big. The people are very mean to me. I don't really like them.
Who would be mean to you?
A lot of people. No, I'm kidding. I think that's just the Massachusetts lifestyle. People are very aggressive on the road. They're always in a rush. It's very cluttered, and just I'm very claustrophobic when I'm there. And I went to Mass Art for 4 years in Boston. I'm over driving in and out of the city, and
plenty of time there.
Parking is awful in Boston. You get ticketed everywhere you go. People are just nasty. And I prefer Providence. If I'm gonna go to a city, I'd rather go to Providence. It's closer.
Seems more low key.
It's so quiet, and it's so beautiful and so fun, and the people are nice, and it's way better.
Nice.
Well, I know you've been traveling a lot. Where are you going all this year?
Oh man, I'm going everywhere. In May, I'm going to London, just for like a few days with a friend.
Have you ever been there to Europe?
I've never been to Europe
Awesome.
ever. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting.
It'll be a huge like adjustment, but
I mean, at least you speak English, or
at least I speak
over
English.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Until the end of the year.
Well, go on. What's at the end of the year?
I'm hoping to go to Paris in December, but we'll see. It hasn't been booked yet. So
For any particular reason or a convention? Or...
So my best friend, who I hope isn't listening to this, she doesn't know that we're going yet. For me and her girlfriend are taking her for her birthday, and I was like, well, if we go to Paris, can we at least go like this week? Because that's when my two favorite singers are performing. So
Nice.
I'll see some live music and
Good.
just, travel and get to explore. It'll be good.
Are you going anywhere in the country this year?
I'm going hopefully to Rochester, New York in, I think, November for a convention.
Okay.
And while I'm out there, I think we're going to Toronto.
Okay.
Because it's right there and I've always wanted to go. So
Have you ever been before? Or
No,
to
not-
Canada before?
I've been to Canada. I've been
Gotcha.
I've been to Ottawa and I've been to Montreal twice. And I've been to Vancouver too.
Oh, bonjour.
So, yeah.
Do you miss doing conventions?
No.
Conventions can be tough.
They're
yeah.
it's very like, there's a lot going on. They're very loud and I feel like I work so hard. Like I work myself very hard there. Like I don't do one tattoo a day. I do like two at least. So I'm booked most of the time when I do them. And luckily they're on Friends. So I at least can know the person that I'm working with. But a lot of the time it's very fast paced and it's definitely exhausting. And you're like very close to the people that you're with. You're like kind of squished in a little space and it's very claustrophobic. So I try to only do one a year if I'm going to do them. But I didn't miss not having to do them during COVID. That's for sure.
And why is there always like the longest line to the printer?
Oh my God. Last time too in Hartford, the printer wasn't working. So I had to wait like an hour for it to work. And I was like, God, I should have. And we ended up using the one that we brought. Luckily we brought one.
Oh, good. I feel like you have to nowadays for conventions.
Oh my
just
God,
like
you have to bring everything.
make your own stencil at home and printer.
Hope you don't have to change
your
anything.
own snacks.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to get a $20 drink there.
Eat anything the whole weekend. I ate maybe like a granola bar the whole weekend. So
oh God. Yeah.
What's the Rochester convention?
I don't know. I think it's a new one. It's like a Ghost in Darkness, I think. Do you know that brand?
No.
No, it's I think it's a New England brand. But they make like clothing. We sell it at the Collective next door. And
oh, cool.
They're really awesome. My boss is really good friends with them. So they hooked us up this year. So I think this is the first year they're doing it. And I'm just happy that it's in Rochester because I really want to go over there. I've never been to Rochester or Toronto. I know it's pretty close. Well, not pretty close, but close enough to drive. So
hopefully it'll be like kind of like smaller and low key then if it's the first year.
Definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. I kind of want to dive into kind of your story now.
Yeah.
I know the journey to being a tattooer, it's different for everybody. Usually stressful journey, but there's a period of getting into art. There's a period of, trying to find the apprenticeship. Mm-hmm. Where did it all start for you?
So, tattoo or drawing? Like tattooing or drawing?
The very beginning, when you first wanted to start drawing or when you started drawing.
So I feel like we all kind of started at a young age, right? We've always loved to draw for the most part. So I always had like a thing for it. But I couldn't really, I didn't really learn until about freshman, sophomore year of high school. I didn't take like any classes or anything. I just I was very introverted and I kind of kept to myself those 4 years of high school. And I'm obviously it's hard when you're in high school and you're introverted. So I was also having a couple of medical issues with epilepsy. And I don't know if I told you guys this before, but I used to have seizures in high school. And that ultimately led me to where I am now, I believe, because I couldn't really draw at all before I started having them. And then I had 8 within a span of 2 years. And then, but like within those years, I like went from not being able to draw like anything to like just drawing portraits like left and right. Yeah, it was weird.
Like because of the seizures?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was really weird. Yeah, my parents were super freaked out, and the doctors were like, yeah, that's a thing that can happen. Like,
dude,
there was a study done on a guy that had seizures, and he started playing the piano out of nowhere. Like, it's just like something in the brain like triggers, like the seizures trigger it, and
that's wild.
it's almost like a blessing in disguise. I see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just like a talent of some sort can just emerge from,
I guess, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, never heard of that before.
Me either.
And I'm so sorry that happened to you too. I mean,
It's okay.
but it's fascinating.
It worked out for sure.
fascinating.
It made me like super grateful for what I have. And there's definitely a lot like worse things out there than seizures. But
And you said it happened over like 2 years?
yeah, like within my freshman year, I couldn't really draw. And then sophomore year, junior year, that's when I really started drawing, because that's when I started having the seizures.
Did it change like your day-to-day life at all? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't really go to school. I was
Okay,
very
yeah.
anxious.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because
Okay.
I had a couple in school, actually, in high school. Luckily, when I graduated high school, I stopped having them. I found the right medication, and
Okay.
I've been steady on it ever since. But yeah, that trial period where you can't find the right medication is super, like, just anxiety inducing, because
yeah,
you just don't
That
know
sounds
if you're going to have one.
terrifying.
And I would try to sleep and make sure I got enough sleep. And I still do that now. I still, don't really drink much. And I am very careful about what I do. Besides all the concerts that I've been going to, but yeah, I'm pretty good about,
Well, I guess it's like pretty treatable once you find the right
oh,
medication.
definitely.
Yeah.
But my doctors are like trying to get me off of it. And I'm like, no, like, I don't want to get off of it. It's like perfect. Like,
Yeah. Does
Why
it
would
give you
they want to
any-
get you off of it?
it causes birth defects apparently. And I'm like, well, I'm not ever planning on getting pregnant. So I don't know why
Yeah.
I have to get off of it.
Yeah.
But they're like insisting on it. And I'm like,
No.
yeah, they want to
That's
do
your
like another
choice.
EEG in like, I think this year I'm supposed to go back for another one. And it's
Dang.
been like 6 years since I've had one. So.
Man, that's crazy.
But I mean, I'm fine on it. Like, it doesn't affect me. Like, the medication's great. Like, I barely, realize like anything is wrong with it. And
Yeah.
Just kind of learn to live.
yeah. Mhm.
I know, I'm sure though, that period of time when you first started having seizures was just dreadful and
Yeah.
scary.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody at
Yeah.
all.
Well, I'm sure it made you, who you are today,
Mhm.
strong and
Definitely.
you could take on most things. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess, from drawing and learning how to draw, and you like drawing portraits. When did you decide that tattooing was the thing for you?
Well, so I just want. So you literally didn't take any classes or
No.
learn or anything like that.
No,
you
I
just
didn't.
randomly
I mean, I
started
took-
being able to draw
In
portraits.
college, I took a couple classes. Well, obviously, because
but I mean, in high school, yeah.
no, in high school, I didn't really take any classes other than like, the stereotypical like art one. And although
Yeah.
I kind of skipped those, they just put me right into portfolio. So
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
yeah, it was crazy.
So going into because you went to
Tattooing.
you went to art college, right?
I did. I went to Mass Art for 4 years. So when I got my apprenticeship, I was a sophomore. And my parents were like, just finish. Like, you're already halfway there, And my boss was like, yeah, you can finish. Like, he was super flexible about like me coming in late to go to class. And I had to commute to Boston every day. So he was very like flexible on that. And it's been, I just kind of walked in one day, got a, walk-in tattoo, and just was talking to them, and they're super friendly, and they were like, well, let me see your portfolio. And I was like, all right, cool. And showed him my portfolio, and he was like, yeah, all right, here you go.
No way. So that was
Yeah.
when you were in college.
Mhm. I was a sophomore.
Had you ever thought about tattooing or before then?
Not really. I mean, I was following Deanna, obviously. So I kind of had like, I appreciated the art and I really loved it. And then Devin, my coworker, and my best friend, she gave me my first tattoo. I think I was like 19. So
Yeah.
I was like right before I got my apprenticeship, and she was kind of talking to me a little bit about it too. And I was like, all right, well, maybe I could like look into it a little bit. And yeah.
So what did you think you were going to do with your college education?
I had no idea. I had no idea. I wanted to do photography for a while. I love concert photography. That was like one of my favorite things to do. So I really think that if I wasn't doing tattooing, I'd probably be a concert photographer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love live music. So
Yeah. enough to fly to Paris.
Yeah, after flying to Paris and London, you know, you got to go.
Well, what made you decide to want to go to art college?
I mean, I was like, well, if I have to go to college, I might as well have fun with it and do something that I enjoy doing. So it was mass art or RISD or something like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned you like going to concerts a lot. Is there anyone you like seeing in particular?
Yeah, a ton, a ton of people. I'm seeing Angèle 3 times this year. She's a French singer. You probably don't know who she is. She sings with like Dua Lipa.
Oh, cool.
Who I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I saw Dua in February. I saw Billie Eilish in February.
I'm
she was
so jealous.
She was so awesome. So good.
Jealous.
So good.
And you were so close to the stage.
Yeah, I always try to get as close as I can. I love being like present and as close as possible. I love general admission, so just like the vibes of the crowd is always super fun. So
I bet you missed concerts a lot during COVID.
Oh my God, I didn't really get into them actually until after COVID. I never really went to them, so I think that's part of the reason why I started doing it. And I always tried with like the epilepsy. I couldn't really go to many concerts. So yeah.
Is there like a concert you went to and you're like, oh shit, this is tight?
Yeah, Paris. I don't know if you've heard of them. PVRIS. They're awesome.
Oh yeah,
you know them.
I've seen it stylized like that. Yeah,
they're really, really good. I saw them last August, and that I think was the turning point for me. It was like, oh my God, like I love the adrenaline. I love like the energy, like the music. Like it was just so like incredible being there, and I was right up front, like right against the barricade, and it was so awesome. So I think that was really like what started. Wow. And I did a bunch of tattoos like inspired by their music too. So it was fun too.
Yeah, you can see a lot that kind of inspires, you know, the kind of tattoos you do. And I also just want to point out too that, you know, it's very inspiring that you not only are successful at a young age and are going to concerts all the time, even with the fear that you had when you were having seizures and especially epilepsy, like you found a balance to live your life anyway. And I just want to point out that's also really inspiring to see that, you know, even if you had that fear, you're still not stopping yourself from doing the things you want. So
I appreciate that.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of tattoos did you do inspired by their music?
Oh man, I did a portrait of Lynn Gunn, the lead singer, on my best friend, Michelle. And I did like it was like a trippy like 2-portrait kind of thing with like the script of like the lyrics in the middle. That I did that right after the concert. I was like, I have to tattoo this.
Awesome.
And she was like, all right, I'll jump right in the chair. Like I had a cancellation one day and I was like, come in right now. Like
nice. I'm
doing this for you. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe your style for people who aren't familiar with your work?
Man, I'd say illustrative blackwork. But I also like to do a little bit of color too sometimes. But I definitely love the blackwork style for sure.
Yeah. It kind of seems like you've almost built a portfolio around like pop culture.
Yeah, I love, oh my God. Yeah, I'm definitely a fangirl, a huge nerd. I love doing like music inspired tattoos and like TV shows and movies and just all that stuff. I absolutely love it. So it gets me really excited. And yeah, for sure. I try to bring it into my tattoos as much as possible.
Building a style, I think, is the hardest thing to do when you're any type of artist. And the fact that you have done that, not only with your style, but subject matter, you know, Jess Reef style. Yeah. So it's really cool.
Yeah. And it's crazy. So we met, I guess, when was that, 2018?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So I was a little baby apprentice.
Yeah. So you were an apprentice then?
I think I was an apprentice, yeah.
Okay. So the three of us met in, I guess, 2018. I was getting tattooed by Jess Reef in New Hampshire, and Deanna was doing a guest spot there and tattooed Jess.
Yeah.
And Jess was, an apprentice at the time. I was just trying to pinpoint, like, when in your career that one. Yeah.
I think I was just starting out. So, like, I don't think I was even tattooing yet. I think I was just drawing.
I think you were tattooing, and I remember you telling me about how you were an apprentice and going to school. And I remember thinking that sounded crazy.
I was probably like a junior or senior at that point. Probably a junior, though.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see how much your career has grown since then.
It's crazy. And I'm still learning so much every day too. It's like, I still have so much, like, I feel like learning to do and so much like growing to do. And
what kind of work were you doing when you first started?
I think I've always been doing black work. I don't really think I ever did another style. I think I've always kind of
Wow. So you just knew from the beginning.
Yeah, I've always kind of loved to do what I was drawn to.
But what about like subject matter wise?
I would do, I mean, the basic, like, little flowers and like little, like whatever anybody walked in wanted, really, I would just take on. I was really like, I was really open to trying everything. I've done a couple of like American traditional pieces when I was an apprentice, some watercolor stuff, but yeah, anything that would walk through the door, I would just take on.
I do remember having a conversation with you. This was probably like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And we were talking about portraits and how much you love doing portraits. And I don't remember you were saying you wanted to tattoo more of them because there weren't really.
I don't think I was doing portraits yet.
Which is so crazy to me because that's pretty much your entire portfolio now is portraits.
Yeah, I was definitely a little nervous to start doing them because they were so intimidating for me.
Even though that's like your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I was going to want to do them, and I would always like once I got comfortable enough with the machine and my clients and skin, because you have to really know how to use the equipment. Once I got comfortable enough with that, that's when I started to do portraits. But it took probably like a year and a half to really like get comfortable with the equipment and the medium.
Why are portraits so scary? Especially because I did the same thing. I specialized in portraits, and it took me about that long to do them. And
I think it's because the likeness, you have to make sure the proportions are right. Even though you use a stencil, it's the shading. You have to make sure you know how to shade correctly and properly. Otherwise, it looks too contrasted.
Well, that's a really good. That makes me think of something. So I know anatomy is a big focus, but me as not a tattoo artist, like I know it's not as simple as just tattooing what you see on the reference. Like, can you guys explain why it's so hard to get anatomy right in portraits?
Well, I personally, then you need to know anatomy in order to tattoo portraits because a photo only shows so much. Right. And so you can really tell when somebody tattoos from a photo of a person and they don't really know what they're looking at. Right. Sometimes, especially like bridges of noses and the sides of mouths, the sides of eyes, people can miss that because they don't know how to draw them. They don't know what's there and they can't see it in the photo so well. So just little nuances like that makes this the biggest difference. Just the corners of the mouth, if they're not supple, it looks too sharp. And if there's no disappearing edges, if we want to get really technical. But I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, and then if anything you were to like change too, it always, adds extra points for creativity. Like if you know how to change something to make it not look exactly like the photo, but use the photo enough that you can like still make it look like a real person, but like change it so that it's like your version and not just like a copy. You know what I mean? That's always like super helpful. You can kind of go off the photo and use it as like a reference, but also kind of make it your own too.
Do you guys view tattooing like family portraits of somebody knows versus pop culture portraits versus traditional or not traditional, but lady faces, generic lady faces? Do you view those things differently?
I mean, portraits of people's family members is going to be the hardest one because they see those people every single day or saw them enough to get them tattooed on them. And all you have is a photo. You don't have, like a pop culture reference has millions of photos usually or many. So you can look at each one and get an idea of what they look like. But yeah, if you're tattooing someone's mom in their arm, like they know what their mom looks like. Right. So that's tough. And then generic lady faces, those are easiest because you can just play around.
Yeah, you can get away with anything.
Yeah.
It's got to be kind of tricky too when you're not doing straight up realism. I mean, you're doing like your style blackwork, so you probably have to, take some creative liberties there to make it look like your style, but also look like the person.
Yeah, I try to, change it up as much as possible, but also keep it true to the reference. When someone comes with me with a specific reference, I always try to use it as much as possible, but also kind of like go off of it as like a general like guideline, but also like, again, like change it and make it my own. But I definitely try to keep the proportions and like the shading and everything right. But obviously like sometimes like if like the hair is too light, I'll darken it a little bit at the top to give it some contrast, even if it's not identical to the reference. I always try to make something look better as a tattoo than a piece of paper. You know what I mean?
And what's fascinating with you is because you don't do like just straight up photorealism. You have your own style.
Yeah.
And even with your minimalistic line work and shading, you are able to get the likeness on each character you do, which people can notice who that is, right away. And it's fascinating how you can do that.
Thank you.
And I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but if you're not following Jess already, check her out on Instagram at Jess Reef. Yeah, at Jess Reef Tattoos. You'll know exactly what we're talking about. Her work is super original, and it's definitely got like a Jess Reef look to it.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, and I was saying how you didn't hardly do any portraits a few years ago.
Yeah.
For anybody out there that's trying to kind of build a style or build a portfolio, can you walk us through how you got to that point?
How I got into the portraits, or
how you got to the point where that's pretty much all you do.
Oh man, I mean, I feel like once I just did one, it clicked, and I was like, I need to do more of this, and I just put out there that, hey, like I want to do more portraits. I started like pre-drawing like all these portraits that I wanted to do. Sorry, one sec.
Sorry, Jess is coming off a cold here, so
sorry,
she's a little scratchy today.
A little scratchy, yeah. I've been talking all day too. My clients are very love to talk to me today. So, I definitely I pre-drew a lot of things that I really wanted to do, and they were pretty much all portraits. And I would just find ways to incorporate it. And like if someone came in for a consult, and I'd be like, hey, like what do you want? And they'll be like, oh, I want like something inspired by like a movie or a show. Like, and I was like, well, what about a portrait? Like, would you be down with this? And I would just kind of like just ease into it a little bit, but also like make it something that they wanted, I guess.
Side note, your clients were so nice today.
Oh my God. They were the nicest people I think I've ever met.
Are your clients always that nice?
I'd say, yeah, they're pretty nice. I mean, for Massachusetts, a lot of them come out of state though. I have had a lot of clients come from out of state,
Gotcha.
But overall they're super friendly and just, they're super excited to get tattooed. And I really, really appreciate that, because there's nothing worse than coming in on a day where you're like not having a good day. And then you're just like, oh, like, what if my client is just like miserable or like whatever, but they're mostly like super excited just to be there and to get tattooed. Awesome. So I'm super fortunate and super lucky to have such awesome clients to work with every day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, well, back to the portraits.
Yeah.
When you were designing a lot of those pre-mades, was that stuff that was like relevant at the time, or just kind of generic, things that people might have been a fan of? Because I've noticed, a lot of times when you put pre-mades out, it'll be a Netflix show or something like that.
I'll definitely try to stay current and relevant, but I definitely will go back to and like find things that are pretty like broad and like something that anybody could probably be interested in. So definitely both though, for sure.
How do you balance current pop culture things when you're booking out X amount of time?
So when I would do a lot of flash, when I had more time for flash designs, or if there's just something that I just absolutely have to do like right now, I'll either come in on a day off and work, an extra day that week, or I'll get a cancellation and fill it with that.
How many days a week do you work normally?
I'd say like 4.5 to 5. I started going to the gym, so I've been taking a little bit more time for myself lately, but I'd say like around 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, how much did you used to tattoo?
5 days.
Okay.
Sometimes 6 during, like right after COVID, coming right out of COVID, I would work 6 days because I would just really want to get back into it. And I was super eager right when COVID ended. I was like, oh, that was like the longest 3 months of lockdown. Like I have so many ideas, so many clients that I have to get back into. And, I was just like, I need to just tattoo all the time. Yeah. And I definitely started overworking myself, but for the best.
Well, we're glad you found a balance.
Definitely.
Balance is very important, especially in this tattoo career when you create your own schedule and all of that. So that's great.
Yeah. How would you say your work-life balance is now?
Oh, it's much better. I definitely have a little bit more time for myself, which is nice. But yeah, I work 12 to 8 usually, maybe 9, but usually 8. I finish pretty early. So I work on 2 tattoos a day roughly, sometimes 1 if it's big.
Yeah, Jess is like the fastest tattoo artist ever for people who don't know. She's insanely fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick. So I try to, book as many as I can in a day, but with also like, taking time for myself and having lunch and making sure that I, relax. But I definitely am a workaholic and I need to get better about, taking time for myself. Balance. And I like to draw my designs in advance. I'll draw it like a day or 2 before.
Gotcha.
So that I'm not like rushing when they get there. But I could honestly, like, I've been starting to design it like the night before, but then draw it when I get there. So it also kills a little bit more time in the day.
Design.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so walk us through your design process. How is the design and drawing different things?
So the designing would be like gathering all the references and like getting like a physical design, and then I would draw over it the day of, if that makes sense. So I'd have an idea before I go to bed so I can like sleep knowing that I have something started, and then the morning of I'll usually come in and just line it all out.
So what does your reference look like when you tattoo? Are you looking at the version that you've lined over, or are you looking at the photo of the person?
I look at both. Okay. I usually have the line work out for when I'm just doing the line work so that I know where the lines are. And then once I start shading, I'll put the layer of like the photos or whatever, the drawing that I do underneath it so that I can see both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
iPads. Yeah. Well, Deanna, I know you mentioned on the last episode that to build your portfolio with portraits, you came in on days off. Mm-hmm. I know work-life balance is super important, but would you guys say that's what it takes when you're starting out to not push yourself too much, but work that 6 day, come in on your day off, work flat, do
work
extra flash.
7 days if you have to. Yeah, at least until you can get your portfolio where you want it to be at. You got to put in the work in order to, get to where you want to be.
Absolutely.
And to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, where do you see yourself in a few years with your tattoo career and everything, with your style, and how often you want to work? And
I mean, I love working 5 days a week. I do. And I love the style that I do. So I'd say I'd love to get more into that and maybe explore a little bit more color. I really do. Okay. I really love color, but it's definitely a little bit harder incorporating it into my style, I think, because I have to find like a good balance of, where would the color look good? Would it look too like forced? You know what I mean? Like if I think something will look better with color, I'll straight up say this will look really cool with some color. But sometimes people will really, really want color in places that it doesn't really necessarily need to be.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to, have the line, drawn between like necessary and like unnecessary. So I definitely want to explore a little bit more color for sure.
Oh, it's exciting. I would love to work with you at all.
Oh my
God.
That. Yeah, that would be awesome. I have to do a seminar. Lectures, one of your seminars.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your booking process. What does your wait list look like? How far are you booked? Are your books closed? So my books are closed most of the year. I open my books for about a week. Do you do all your own booking?
I do, yeah. I prefer to do my own booking just because if it ever gets messed up, I just only blame myself. I don't have to blame anybody else. And I just know how I'm very specific, I think, with my booking. So I know how long something's going to take. I know I'll want someone either in the morning or like the afternoon based on what they want. And there's just so much that goes into it. I know the projects that I'm going to want to take on versus the ones that I might not see myself doing the best job with. Or like another artist might be better suited for. So I definitely have a process of doing it. I'll open my books. Actually, they're opening on April 4th. I'll probably open them for about a week, and then I'll answer emails within the next week probably, or email people and be like, hey, does this time work for you? Does this day work? Based on what the form that they fill out says. Yeah. But yeah, I have a little form in my Instagram bio that I open. I usually book through Instagram because it's the easiest way. But if people email the shop directly, I'll just have Isis, my coworker and best friend, she'll email them back saying, hey, her books are opening on so-and-so date. Check out her Instagram, keep updated on there. I pretty much do my own booking so that, they don't have to. Even, that's their job, but they're still, busy people and they're doing their own thing. Isis is tattooing now. So, and piercing too. She's doing everything and managing. So I don't I don't want to put all that on her either. So
I can't, text you how much for a sleeve and can I do it this Friday?
I mean, you could, if you wanted to. I would drop everything now, but yeah, no, I prefer to just go through the process that I have because it's the quickest for me. I don't have to go back and forth with people on the design. I can set up a consult if they're more comfortable talking about it that way, but I usually just email. It's easiest to do. So,
how picky are you with their projects you take on?
I try to stay open-minded as much as possible. I definitely prefer working on things that I haven't necessarily done before, though. If I've done it a million times, I get sick of it.
What's one of the things you've done a million times that you're just like, no more? Ran out of those.
Sold out, yeah. I'd say like full floral sleeves. I've kind of like just hit the door on.
Yeah.
Just I'll do it for like friends and family or people that are really like, they're dying to get it done. Like I'll do it, but I definitely prefer working on things that I haven't done before. Like portraits or like, creatures, like made up creatures or like just anything that I haven't done yet. So anything that I can have creative like freedom from.
Damn, I was going to ask for a floral sleeve
on
Friday.
Damn. That was going to be your sleeve idea.
Do you enjoy doing commissions?
Like outside of tattooing, or
commissions as opposed to pre-made designs?
I mean, in a perfect world, I could just do pre-made designs all the time, right? But I don't think people would be as interested in getting them like 24/7. I think that's more of like, and I don't really have like 24/7 inspiration.
Sure.
It definitely comes and goes as it wants to. It's been kind of, I haven't really had much time to really like sit down and draw things. But I've actually been watching a show lately that I'm really interested in doing a tattoo for.
What show?
Killing Eve. Have you heard of it?
Never heard of it.
No.
It's like a BBC America show. Like I swear Canada has the best shows. I think that's, BBC America. But yeah, so that show I've been really into, and I think I might draw some pieces inspired by that show soon. So we'll see.
Wicked.
Wicked
cool. But yeah, no, I definitely, I think it's easier to just take commissions on for tattoos.
Yeah, it's probably easier when you have some sort of a prompt. It's kind of hard to sit down and just draw a bunch of pieces.
It's even harder when people are like, I don't care what you do, just do something. And it's like, well, that's a lot of pressure because like I could draw something and you could hate it,
Yeah.
So it's great having people that are very open-minded. But like the guy that I had today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
What are some of your other favorite shows?
Oh God, the list goes on.
Is there any that you're dying to do anymore?
I've pretty much done. I mean, I feel like I never run out of like concepts for American Horror Story. I feel like that is always something that I'm interested in doing. I've done a bunch of the characters, but there's always so many characters that I haven't done. So I'd love to do more from like those like seasons, because each season is so different. Like they're all great. So American Horror Story is probably like up there. I love the horror stuff. Haunting a Hill House, Haunting a Bly Manor. Those shows were great. What else is good? Orphan Black is probably my favorite. No one knows about that show.
I don't.
No one knows.
I think I only know about it from you.
From me, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Didn't you do an Orphan Black piece on Jordan?
I don't think I did.
Or did you do a piece when you were here one time?
That was a Black Mirror tattoo.
Well, you
which
did
also
one on
is a good
Jamie,
show.
right?
I did one on Jamie. Yeah, I think I did an Orphan Black tattoo on Jamie. That was fun. I was surprised that Jamie knew who Helena was, because not everybody knows who that is. So,
what are you doing on her on Saturday?
I actually don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Jamie's one of our best clients. She's been tattooed by probably 5 or 6 artists here. Every time Jess comes down, she gets tattooed by
she's great.
Yeah, and actually every time Jess comes down, her books always get filled with people from the shop and returning clients. So it's really easy to book her up for guest spots.
Yeah. Super fortunate for sure.
What about movies?
Oh God. Movies. My favorite is any Quentin Tarantino movie is fucking amazing. I don't know if I can swear on here. I'm sorry if I.
Yeah, you're illegally allowed to.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
I could have been swearing this whole time.
Damn. Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, no. So any Quentin Tarantino movie, I absolutely love doing. My favorite movie of all time is probably Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
I just introduced that movie to Colton recently.
Such a good one.
My favorite of theirs.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I'm getting a Shoshana piece. Hopefully in the summer.
Didn't we watch that on Christmas? Inglourious Bastards. It's a very Christmassy movie.
Oh, totally. I could quote the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about. Colton asked me what my favorite death is in movie.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast this morning,
Which
and they
one
were on
was
the
it?
subject of there. It was Grand Creepers with Bobby Johnson.
Oh, I don't think I know that.
And Lucas Adams. It's a great podcast if you haven't listened to it or heard of it.
I'll have to check it out.
But yeah, they were talking about favorite death. And I was thinking about Quentin Tarantino movies, and there are some really good deaths in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when Hitler dies, that might be one of my favorites.
So satisfying. So satisfying.
Kept shooting him.
As much as I hated it, Shoshana's death was
It's pretty awesome.
poetic
Yeah.
and so sad but beautiful at the same time. And that death was probably, as much as I hated watching her die, was probably up there for me.
It's awesome.
We also watched Django recently.
Oh, such a good movie.
It is.
I just did a Django piece on a good client back home.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He's getting a whole Tarantino leg sleeve.
That is so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's
And he's
awesome.
like, do whatever you want. Like Kill Bill, Django, Inglourious Bastards, Death Proof. I think we're doing a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood piece soon.
Nice.
Cool.
I just watched that movie for the first time a couple months ago. It was so good.
Yeah, we need to do that.
How did they make it violent?
Once Upon a Time?
Yeah. Because all of his
So many
movies are-
ways.
Oh,
Have you not seen it?
no.
Oh my God.
It's violent?
I don't want to spoil it for you, but
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
it's very violent for sure. It's
There's
that
gotta-
actually might be the most graphic one that I've seen.
No fucking
Wow.
way. I don't know anything
The ending,
about it.
just wait to the ending.
Well, if it's a Quentin Tarantino ending,
It's
there's going to be lots of death,
insane.
lots of blood.
Explosions.
It's insane. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Like
Okay,
it's
well,
kind
now
of
I-
it's just crazy. Like
Now I
it's
need to
insane.
watch that movie.
Yeah.
Watch it later.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We will.
It's really good.
So, what shop do you work at?
Oh, I work at Pleasure and Pain Tattoo in Attleboro. We have 2 locations. I got my apprenticeship at the Taunton one, and then we opened up Attleboro in, I believe, March of 2020. So, like, right before COVID. Was
So,
a
you've
thing.
been at the same shop the whole time?
Yeah, I've been working with Jeff Burt for, 4 years now, going on 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, starting April. So, literally 4 years. I've been working with him, and he's like my dad to me. Like, he's awesome.
Aw.
So, I'm guessing you don't have a crazy apprenticeship story.
I don't. I never really had anything crazy. I had to shave his client's butt one time. That was about the craziest it got.
Yeah.
I
That'll
had to do
happen.
all the apprentice things, but yeah, no, I had a great apprenticeship. I never
great.
had any like hazing or anything like that.
Did you learn a lot?
Oh yeah, I learned so much. Not only from him, I did learn a lot from him, but I learned a lot from everybody that I worked with. Like they're all very like easy to learn under and ask questions while they're working, and they're very friendly and
I'm so jealous.
very open.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
happy
awesome.
for you.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
What artist do you look up to besides the artists in your shop?
Oh God. Okay, so obviously Deanna.
No.
Sorry to keep bringing that up. I've always been a fan of her work, and I really love the artist that does my sleeve, Jesse Panette. He's awesome,
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning.
incredible.
She has this beautiful horse portrait with floral and oh my God, a
Life is
lady
strange,
face. And it's just beautiful black and gray. It's so realistic and looks so milky.
It looks really good.
He's also like the most humble guy. So and I learned a lot from him because I've been getting tattooed by him also since I was an apprentice, and he gave me one of my first tattoos, and ever since I've been working with him, and he's so incredible, so incredible, and just the most humble guy you'll ever meet, and he's just awesome. Couldn't say enough nice things about him. So definitely him. Who else? Oh God, there's so many. I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's like I have to go through my Instagram and look.
Is there anyone that kind of inspired your style, or did you kind of come up with that by yourself?
My coworker Devin inspired my style a lot. Deanna did too. And then there's this artist in Montreal who I actually met last time I was there. Let me find their work. Their name's Jamie. I think Soft Brats Tats on Instagram. Their work is incredible. They inspired me a lot too when I was an apprentice. They do a lot of like really cool line work and like really cool shading.
Very
dope.
cool.
Yeah.
But their work is really, really good too.
Very cool.
Very traditional and very clean, very precise. You could tell that it took a long time to do, and very thought out and methodical, and
Yeah.
really, really cool. So they inspired my style a lot too.
Nice.
Is there anyone else you want to get tattooed by?
Oh God, yeah. I really want to get tattooed by this artist in I think it's Pennsylvania. Let me find their Instagram too. I think it's Evan. I don't know how to say their last name. It's PFAFF, BAF or something if I had to guess. They do really cool like neo-traditional work, and like a lot of movies and like really, really cool work.
Oh shit, dope.
So I definitely want to get tattooed by
also
them
very
too.
milky. I never thought I would describe tattoos twice
Very
as
soft
milky.
and very soft and very like smooth.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
definitely buy them too for sure if I have time.
Yeah.
With all the traveling that I'm doing, it's kind of hard.
Are you, besides the convention, are you doing any traveling to tattoo?
I actually, next April when I go to Montreal for the next time, this will be the third time I go. I definitely want to guest spot at Jamie's shop, the Soft Brats Tats person that I actually met last time I was there, and they want to do like a trade and maybe like a little flash day. So I'm planning on going back to, I think it's Merci à vous. Sorry for my French. It's not very good. But yeah, that's the shop, and it's so friendly. They're so nice there again. Like everywhere I go is so nice. And I think we wanted to do like a flash day. So I'm hoping to get out there next April.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's got to be cool when somebody you look up to wants to trade with you.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible. I never thought that I'd be even working like with you guys, honestly.
Have you had, so we talked in the last episode too of how hard it is to, I guess, be confident or like look at your accomplishments as an artist and, you know, be satisfied.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any moments that you're like, oh shit, I did that. That's really cool.
Every day.
Awesome.
Well, actually, that's not true. I have like imposter syndrome where I'm like, it's actually the opposite. It's like, I'm like, I didn't make that. Like, it's cool, but I didn't make that. While I'm here, actually, I get that feeling a lot like, wow, that's nice. But like, did I do that? Like, it's weird. Like, I'm like, I don't think I did. Or like, I don't see it the way that everyone else sees it. Like, I'm very hard on myself, and I'm trying to learn to be a little bit less hard on myself. So, but I definitely do have moments where I'm like, okay, that's kind of dope. Like, yeah, I'm excited about the projects that I take on, especially while I'm here, because the clients that I work with down here are super cool, and they let me kind of just do whatever I want. And working with like, you know, you guys, and it's super like helpful because you guys give advice and everything too while I work, and, you know, look over my shoulder and see what I'm doing, and it's super fun.
Yeah, we love having you here, and you're just a great person as well. It's a great tattooer.
I love being here.
So what are some of your goals moving forward with tattooing?
Oh man, I definitely want to travel more. I know I'm traveling a lot this year, but I definitely want to keep doing that.
For tattooing specifically? For
tattooing, you know, I want to get a good like view of every place that I can go to, and yeah, I mean, I guess just kind of seeing what other places are like, and yeah, just getting a different like scene and a different setting, because I definitely, as much as I love being back home, I definitely do get a little like antsy to see the world and you know, travel. And I mean, I definitely love being home, but I definitely love getting out there at the same time and seeing what's, you know, out there. I feel like a lot of people get like caught up in like being in the same place like all the time, and I definitely don't want to stay like stuck, you know, I mean, I'm glad I finally got out of my hometown this year, so that's a step, but I definitely want to travel a lot more while I'm like, you know, single and doing my thing.
I feel like a cool thing about guest spots is even if you're not learning like specific things about tattooing when you're being around other people, just being around people that are awesome is super inspiring. And
definitely.
When you go home, do you feel more motivated?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I can go back to work and have like a fresh perspective on things. And like, I learn so much when I'm, you know, traveling, and even especially here, like working with you guys, it's like insane because I feel like I learned so much in just a week. And yeah, it's definitely refreshing to even just travel for like a few days and just get out and, you know, take a minute for myself and breathe and, you know, do what I actually want to do for like a weekend and, you know, not have anywhere to be. I'm always like busy with something lately, like especially this year. As much as I'm very happy with this year, how it's going, I just, I definitely would love to just not have anything to do for a week.
Yeah.
Like not have anything scheduled, you know, not have any plans. Like it would be nice to just kind of relax for a few days.
Do you ever find it's hard to relax?
Oh yeah, all the time. When I actually have a day off, I'm like, what do I do? Like, I feel like unproductive if I don't do anything. Like I have to go to the gym or something, you know?
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
What are some places you've been in the States besides Texas?
Oh man, I've been to, I think it was January of 2016. 17, I went to Seattle and Vancouver. It was when I went to Vancouver.
Awesome. Yeah.
We flew out to Seattle and then drove up to Vancouver. So that was my experience on the West Coast. I've been to LA in high school. I've been to Florida a couple times. I obviously like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, all the places in my area. I haven't really been to like the Midwest though. I've never been to like Colorado or like, Arizona, New Mexico, none of those places. I've been here, obviously, Texas.
That's not the Midwest though.
No, not really.
Yeah,
not really.
The South.
That's about it. I don't really think I've been anywhere else.
I know you said this is your first time traveling alone. How do you like it?
It is. I was very nervous. I wasn't nervous like leading up to it, but not yesterday. The day before yesterday, I could not sleep like at all. I was super nervous.
Just for the traveling part.
Yeah. Just for being in a place that I know this area like better being here for the third time.
Right.
Like I'm not going into it blind. Like I know kind of what to expect now, but I was definitely nervous coming here alone. Just because I don't trust people, and I'm staying at an Airbnb by myself, and never know. I watch a lot of murder documents, so I just kind of am always paranoid. So, but I know not to trust people that I don't know, and I'm very cautious and careful. So, and I'm working basically the whole time I'm here. So, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to move to Texas where everyone's nicer and less likely to kill you.
Yeah, for real. I'm always like looking over my shoulder back home. I'm like, oh my God, there's someone walking behind me.
Well, that's about it, unless you wanted to do like a deep dive into your childhood.
Oh yeah. I've got so many stories actually. Well, not anything interesting, but I was actually, when I was like 7, I got a 3rd-degree burn on my hand at Chuck E. Cheese.
Ooh.
What? From what?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Is that hot?
Yeah, they didn't warn us about how hot it was, and the cheese like slid right off the pizza, and I caught it because I was like, oh my God. I was like 7, and it fell on my hand, and 3rd-degree burn right there.
Oh,
hospital.
Shit.
Yeah.
You had to go to the hospital?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 3rd-degree burn. That's
I'm trying to imagine what
it was
3rd-degree burn looks like.
It was honestly like traumatizing. It was like my whole palm. You if you looked at it, you couldn't tell. But when I was like 7, it was really bad.
Holy shit!
I was like screaming. Yeah, my parents like sued Chuck E. Cheese.
No fucking way. Yeah. Did they win?
Yeah, they got like $1,500.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, the only time we sued somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad about it, honestly. But and it's funny because in Massachusetts, we don't have like any Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Chuck E. Cheese or heard of it. I don't know if there's any down here.
No, they have them here.
Okay.
Yeah. Our friend actually does the voice of
God.
Mr. Cheese himself.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
True.
That is terrifying. I was always so scared of that mouse when I was a kid.
Well, it's less scary when he's not in a mouse costume.
That's
he's
true.
just talking.
He can just do it. He can just like whip it out.
That's, I don't know. I actually don't think I've seen him do it, but I know he does in commercials.
That's creepy. He does the commercials?
Yeah. It's actually Jarrett from Bowling for Soup.
I don't know what that is.
The band Bowling for Soup.
No.
I don't 1985.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the names, but I know the song. Yeah.
He lives like in the next city over, and Deanna's
really?
tattooed him, and
That's so cool.
But, yeah.
Guy.
Oh,
Yeah. And he does the voice for Chuck E. Cheese. So,
no kidding. Now I
but
know.
despite that, he's a cool guy. I know you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan of Chuck E. Cheese, but we
Sorry,
don't
Jared.
really have any in Massachusetts. But
Well, not anymore. They went out of
not
business
anymore.
when it's
Well, it was more of like a Rhode Island, New Jersey, and I was born in Jersey, so we had them a lot over there in
Gotcha.
Pennsylvania. So moving down to Rhode Island, there's a lot down there, and it's like, oh my God, it's traumatizing. I haven't seen any since I was like 7.
Did you move around a lot as a kid?
No, I was born in New Jersey. Moved to Pennsylvania as a kid, which was like right next door, and then moved to Massachusetts, and I've pretty much been in Massachusetts since 3rd grade. So no,
Gotcha.
not really. Always New England.
Would you ever move?
I think, one day. I definitely want to, not be in New England forever. I don't love the snow. I definitely prefer the warm weather and the sun. So I would definitely consider it, when the time's right and when I'm ready and when I've given my boss enough time. I feel like he deserves, the amount of time that he asked. And when I'm ready to definitely sell the house and, settle down if I meet someone and, I just kind of go wherever the wind takes me, honestly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll stick around here one day and come work
We'll
with us.
see.
You're lovely. You're lovely to talk to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't take compliments, but thank you.
I don't
That means
either.
a
It's
lot.
tough. But yeah, we're super glad to have you here. So thank you again.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to be on the show.
Of course, anytime. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, again, if you haven't followed her already, check her out on Instagram at Jess Reef Tattoos. And you can also check out the podcast at Eden BAS Pod. All right. Well, until next time.
Until next time.
Goodbye.